welcome back to Inspired Word. I'm Chauncey Navarro, and as you probably know, we're doing a verse-by-verse study through the book of the Revelation of Jesus. If this is your first time here, I recommend you stop by the website, inspired-word.com, and you can go back to all the previous verses, all the way back to chapter 1, verse 1. We're in chapter 18, verse 19 right now, which goes on to say, "They threw dust on their heads and cried out, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city in which all who had ships on the sea became rich by her wealth, for in 1 hour she was made desolate." We're coming to the end of the chapter here, and not exactly one of my favorite chapters anyway, because we're talking about the wrath of God here, and even if we're not in the picture at this point right here, it's not exactly uplifting at this point, but you can see the judgment of God coming down on those who shed the blood of his innocent, his righteous indignation, so to speak. And one of the examples I keep giving in the previous verses in this chapter is that here they didn't mourn the death and the blood of all of God's faithful, but at the destruction of this city, who was responsible for the death of all of these. They're weeping and they're mourning because of all the riches and the wealth, because as Jesus said, you either worship God or you worship money. And at this point in the world, the people that are left on this planet, they worship money. And there's, when it goes into dust on their heads, that's a traditional, the mourning type, of somebody that dies, or in this case a city that dies. And as I've said before on these, that this city represents the harlot the harlot on the back of the beast represents this city, Babylon. And it's a tale of two cities, this story of Jerusalem and Babylon, which starts in Genesis and ends in Revelation, where Babylon is eternally destroyed and Jerusalem becomes the eternal city. I'll see you back here at Inspired Word as we finish off this chapter.